Taking a little walk this evening. It's 5 o'clock. And I'm gonna hike out this logging trail. Terrible storm last night. There's an old truck cab up here. I must have drove it up here a long time ago. Scratches? That's weird. There must have been something on top of the truck that was getting away from some coyotes, I guess. It's awful sharp. They're not rusty either, so it's not been very long. Huh. The antenna's been bent. The windshield wiper's hanging. It's a windshield wiper. Antenna's all bent. So here's something I didn't see before. These tree limbs are broken. And this tree is skint up. All the way down on the side where the scratches were. It was aggressively attacking this side of the truck. Somehow it managed to break this top limb and this limb. I don't know. I don't know what that was. 3 claws, looks like. Well, it has 3 claws in the front. Everything I know of has, well, dogs, wolves. But they're not like that. It's pretty far apart, don't you think? Why? And that's dry, right? Isn't that weird how it's dry right beside those 3? Yeah, that's weird. Very strange. Anyway, got a pretty nice road here. Hope it's like 5:30, so I'm hoping I can get to where I'm going and turn right around and come back before dark. That's my main goal here. I got something I want to do being this spring. It's poison oak, poison ivy, briars, poplar trees, poplar trees, poplar trees. This is an ironwood tree down here. These right here, ouch. It's ironwood right here. It's hard, really hard, very hard wood. There's a piece of coal laying on the ground there. Eastern Kentucky is famous for coal. It's made by the plants and animals being buried. Plants mainly, because I've witnessed it in action in the call them leach beds in the creeks You can dig up an old leach bed that's been there 20, 25 years. A bunch of leaves in there rotting away under the mud. And it's oil. The oil comes out of it, and coal flows into the stream. You can see it on the top of the water. Wonder what would cause that. Isn't that strange? Got 3 of them. Typically it's a fence, but I don't think that's had a fence in it. There's no fences anywhere near here. Sometimes it just happens, you know, who knows? Anytime I come on a hike like this or a walk, you know, it's to seek out what's going on around my home, you know, see what the people's been out doing, things like that. I always bring some Tylenol, maybe some heartburn medicine, some other things, allergy medicine. I don't have any allergies or anything. And then I bring my handgun always, because you never know when you're gonna need it. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And anytime I go without some kind of a self-defense tool, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of by the environment. I don't know, it's really weird. I'm gonna start being really quiet. Because myself, I like to be really quiet in the woods. I don't want anything to know I'm here. Especially people. You've heard me say that before. You don't want to run into any people out here in the Appalachian Mountains unless it's other hike. And I tell you what, I just saw how quiet I am. There's a deer over there about 100, 200 yards. And he knew, he heard me coming. That's how in tune the animals are. He probably heard me when I was back there on the ridge. And just was waiting around to see what it was. I'll get up here, I'll see if because you can see their tails going through the brush. Show bright white, which is if Darwin's theory is correct, you would evolve to be camouflaged and not have a bright white tail to show exactly where you're going when you're running. That's not very good adaptations, if that's true. If that adapt and evolving stuff is true, the deer are giving themselves away, big time. You can see them from 200-300 yards away. Bright patch of white running through the woods. That deer is about midway to that hill. He ran up, about right in there. I lost him. He's so far away, my camera's not good enough to pick him up anyway. They'll run a little ways and then they'll stop. But it's amazing to me that they can pick up that far away. He probably heard me coming a long time before I saw him. I don't see him anywhere, so you don't want to step on broken branches. I do sometimes, but not very often. No doubt my smell is giving me away. Bird. Can you hear that bird? He knows I'm here. Isn't that insane? That bird's probably a quarter of a mile away. I can very faintly hear it. It's bizarre. I wish I could hear like an animal, see like an animal. So this is not going to be some long, drawn out story. What it is I was coming down here, coming through here, and I was doing an experiment. So what I would do, hang on, I'll show you. What I would do is I would get 4, similar size rocks, and I would place them right here on this rock, just like that. And I would leave. I'd be gone for 2 or 3 days, and I would come back. I came back, and the rocks were grouped like that. They had been moved just slightly. I said, okay. So I moved them back like this. I came back 2 or 3 days later, and they were moved closer together like that. Just barely moved. I said, okay. So I left them. I didn't even touch them that time. And I came back, and I can't remember. I think they were grouped back, or one of them was moved out or something. I can't remember. There was 3 again, 3 sections. I done that for a while, and I never did find any tracks of people. This is a old trail here. People come through, but not very often. Very well could have been a person, but I don't understand the thought pattern behind it. I started it, but I hit myself in the lip today. Anyway, so that happened for a while, and I did that for a while, and I wasn't ever able to see any tracks in the grass or nothing. Or not grass, but you know what I'm talking about. But so then it got, it came cold. My dad got sick, so I had to stop. I didn't have much time for this kind of stuff, so I left it alone. And now I come back. I'm gonna leave those rocks right there and see what happens. Walk down this little branch. If I can get down through here without twisting my knee off. You guys will be blown away at how pretty it is down here. Been down here a few times. It's very slippery. It's already very nice. I'll video again when we get down here. I like to get out after it rains. You can be a little louder when you're around the creek. The creek's kind of drowned out your sound. But I like to come out after it rains and look for tracks, because any tracks you find are going to be fresh. Look at that. It's getting a little more dangerous. Put the blurring on the 3D pop. Maybe you can tell more about the heights of these rocks. Get down. I came down here to tell you another story. So here I was about 2 years ago, standing about in this same spot, and I think it was 2 years ago. I didn't have my phone or camera or nothing with me. The creek was dry then, so I was standing here. There was no noise. I was able to walk through quietly, and I was listening. This is before my dog went missing, so I was listening. I was standing here listening, and around the bend there, I was here. Let me go over here. Oh. Okay, so I was right here. This is all I could see at the moment. And around the bend, I could hear some heavy breathing. So I was like, well, I was listening, and it was heavy breathing, just like I would breathe after climbing up one of these hillsides, you know what I mean? But a lot louder than I could breathe. Well, anyway, I was kind of alarmed by that, and I had a blind dog that ran around through here, and I lost him eventually. But I would go out looking for him whenever he would not come home, and that's a lot of times that's how I would find him. I would sit and listen, and he'd be breathing so hard, like a dog panting, you know, and I would find him like that. So ended up, I did have my phone with me, but I didn't video it. Ended up, I called my wife, and I asked her if I said, is our dog home? I said, is he there around the house? She said, yeah, he's actually right here on the couch. So my dog was on the couch, so this wasn't my dog. And it's very loud. So I'm like, well, I didn't want to peek around the corner to try to see what it was, because it sounded like it was only like 40, 50 feet around the corner there. Very loud, huffing, puffing. And so I thought, well, maybe it's a bear. Generally, bears don't get that out of breath. I can tell you that right now. But it could have been a bear. I don't know what it was. I ended up cutting back and going right around that bank and up that way. And I got on out of here, because if it was a bear, I don't want to deal with it, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't a bear, and with the other things, I don't think bears move rocks around, you know what I'm saying? And with the other things that I've had happen over here, I don't know what it is. I don't know if evil spirits can make huffing noises like that. But it's really weird, and I don't like being here after dark. I'm uneasy. Right now I'm uneasy just because I've had a few things happen like that. Had some trees broken down in my way. One time I heard the tree being broke down. And I went another 100 yards, and it was broken over in the trail. And many, many other times I would come back down through there the next day, and there'd be 2 or 3 trees broken over in the road. Very weird. I'm gonna try to navigate this. It's very dangerous. That's a 4 or 5 foot drop to a rock. You know, this stuff's really slick. You can't just come out here. You got to know how to do this stuff without getting hurt. So tell your loved ones where you're at, because I told my loved ones where I'm at in case something happens. They know where to come find me, you know. Tiny little waterfall there. I hope you guys like this stuff. I mean, it's gorgeous. Look at this. Of course, we had a lot of rain last night. I'm hoping I can still get down through here. If I remember correctly, there was a pretty large drop off down here. So I'm gonna see, I can't video and walk at the same time, it's too dangerous. So I'm gonna cut down through there and see if I can get down. I'm gonna walk down to the creek and come back up the hill and go home. By that time it'll be dark. These rocks are so huge. They're falling off into the creek. We got this tree jammed up across. I hope none of these turn over. So big. That literally looks like a wall. You know, this whole place looks like a jungle, actually. I'll show you in the summertime. This don't look good. Well, alright then. I'm gonna head out that way. Go across. Maybe somewhere down in there. I made it down. Need to always check your footing around here in these areas or anywhere you're at, because you don't want to step in a hole like a cave that goes down forever. These big rocks make me feel small, if that makes any sense. Feels like there should be a dinosaur down here somewhere. Find some dinosaurs. This is limestone. You don't know. That right there is dangerous. I'm gonna stay away from that. I'd rather walk on a snake than be around something like that. That's how all these rocks got in here, is they fell off the banks. You gotta be aware of that stuff. One little rock, see that one right there sitting flat straight up? One little movement could bring that whole thing down. You don't want to go around that stuff. Stay back. So, alright, here we have some evidence. These scratch marks here could match what was up on the truck. A lot of scratching going on here. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's deep too. Very deep. Something was, a couple scratches there. Something was trying to get up out of the water. I don't know where they went. I don't see any other scratches. But yeah, here's the kind of stuff I look for. This is kind of small, I guess. I don't know. It could be a coon. Could be bobcats. Could be I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not a herbivore. Herbivores do not have claws. Omnivore or predator. so here's something interesting. You got this overhang going around through here. See that cave? That's an overhang with the cave that cuts in. That's a den of something. That's why there's no leaves blown back in there. That whatever it is comes out and walks around, lays down there in the mouth of that cave. Probably coyotes, or I guess it could be bobcats maybe. It's really hard to say. I'm not going to go over there and see, but I just thought that was something you guys would like to see, so there you are. These little trees are budding. Evidence of birds. See the buds on these little brush trees? Oh, there's a bird nest up there. First fully bloomed flower that I've seen this year, besides the Easter flowers. Pretty good cliffs. It's an old tin bucket. And some of these trees around here are broken hard. There's a bunch of them too. I mean, just broke right off. That's some strong wind. You ought to see this sycamore tree. This thing is huge. It's bigger than that other one. It's so big. Wow. So big it's actually got dirt like stuck on it. It's growing dirt on its bark. Check this out. Let me get you way back here. Alright. This camera does not do this justice. Not at all. It's like, it's big. There's another one over there. I'd say it's 1, 2, 4 foot in diameter. It's a good sized beech tree. Wow. This thing is huge. It is huge. Alright, so this thing is so big. I don't know how big it is. It's big. It's the biggest sycamore tree I've ever seen. This one tops the list. I was wanting to show you how big this tree is, but I can't find anywhere to set my camera up. It's not working out for me. So, it's big though. This tree is 1, 2, 3, 4, easily 5 feet in diameter. Look at the top of this sucker. It's huge. So here's the river. Here's the river. That water's very deep. Amazingly deep. Dangerous. Dangerous. I don't see any life here right now. There's usually river otters and things like that, but it's beavers. But the creek's up, you know, they're not going to be wanting to hang out. There's a fine mist in the air. It's making my videos a little milky looking. Well, we got up out of the canyon. It's going on 7:30, something like that. I'm trying to kind of go back the way I came, except trying to take a shortcut like I came like this way and turned 90 degrees. I'm cutting the angle going up through here. I don't know. I mean, I know where I'm going. I would never get lost. You know, unless something medical happened and I had like a seizure or a, here's something. This moss, see this clean rock right here? The moss was taken off of that rock, ripped off of it. It's very strange. I'll cover it up. Whatever could it be, you know? You never know. Never know. Could have been a bird. But I doubt it. It's probably a deer running through, or I don't know, a raccoon scraped it up for some reason. There's a bunch of trees broken over. Blows my mind. Found another road. So I'm gonna walk this road because it's easier. Yeah, I'm a little bit lazy. I live that way. There's some dogs. There's some wild dogs out here too. I saw 3 altogether. They didn't see me. I was so well camoed. I was so well scrubbed. I scrubbed my shirts and stuff with dirt so that I smell like the dirt. And I was standing still both times, and 2 came running through. They were pretty scrubby looking. A collie looking dog and I don't know, some kind of, I don't remember what the other one looked like actually. And then another time I saw this black pit bull looking dog, and neither time did they know I was there. So it helps to scrub your clothes with dirt and leaves from the forest floor. Kills your scent. Some kind of property marker. It's good to do that, actually. Ow. This is the south side of the hill, the sunny, hot side. That's why all the trees are scrubby. A lot of ironwood trees grow on the hot side where the sun shines the most. There's a poplar. There's a maple tree. Ow. Some more poplars. Something that I've noticed is in the wild, in the woods, these poison oak and poison ivy vines. This one here's poison ivy, and they're just now starting to produce their oil that makes you get a rash and start itching. I'm immune to it almost, but on a poplar tree, they will grow straight up the tree most of the time. On some kind of an oak tree or something like that, it'll wrap around it. It's really strange. I don't know, you know, that's like 9 times out of 10 that what I just told you is right. Of course, there's exceptions always. If I see an oak tree here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's an oak tree. This is a decent example. I just showed you a poplar tree. Here's an oak tree. Has the poison ivy vines going up. They go up to here and they start to wrap themselves around. And they go around and around and around. They go around and around. On the poplar trees, they go straight up. It's really strange. I don't know why the plant would know to do that or not to do that. You know, some oak trees have them going straight up, but more often the oak trees have them going around, winding their way around the outside. And the poplar trees have them just going straight up. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how a poison ivy plant would have the ideas, you know, to navigate on a different tree and it's only known one tree its whole life. It's not like a vine can go from one tree to the next. It picks a tree, and that's the tree it grows on, you know, till death do they part. Here's another little white oak. The vine goes up, 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 and it starts going around, around and around. Around, 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 around. Isn't that strange? I find it's a good poplar tree to look at here. If I can find a vine on a poplar tree, I'll look at it. It's a very large ironwood. Very large ironwood trees. That tree's probably over 100 years old. It takes ironwood trees centuries to get big. I mean, they're mostly small. This is steep hill. Okay, we got a poplar tree here. Little poplar tree with a vine on it. The vine goes up, 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 up. Barely. Well, it thought about going around, but it didn't. It just S-shaped back and went right on up. So there's no spiraling around that one. Here's an ironwood tree. This is an ironwood tree right here. It's probably 40, 50 years old. It takes them a long time to get big. Like a dogwood tree is so crooked, you can't use them for anything. They don't really get very big with sassafras trees. It's hard to find any huge sassafras trees because they just grow so slow, you know. Hickory trees don't grow that fast either, or white oaks, but those ironwood trees grow so slow and they're so hard. The reason it's so hard, the rings are so tight together because they grow so slowly. Coincidentally, I'll tell you a thing about lumber. The lumber nowadays, the yellow pine, spruce, and Douglas fir that people used to build their homes with, used to was a lot better wood. Nowadays, they got the tree farms are growing this stuff in Canada and stuff. I mean, a lot of it comes from natural forest, but a lot of it comes, the Lowe's lumber, a lot of it comes from these tree farms. And they're growing these trees so fast that there's air pockets inside the wood. The wood weighs about half of what it used to weigh 20 years ago. The deck lumber lasts about 10 years instead of a lifetime. It makes a difference. If the wood that you're using has tight bands in it, it'll be heavy and strong, and it'll last a long time. Nowadays, the lumber that we use now is grown on the tree farms. Like I said before, it's twice as light as it used to be. It only lasts 10-20% of the lumber that was used 25 years ago. The lumber nowadays will last 20-25% of what that lasted, the old lumber lasted. Just figured I'd throw it in there. It's because they're pumping these trees full of nutrients to grow them fast. You know, they don't care about how tightly or anything is. They got to make 2x4s out of this stuff. They grow them up 10, 12, 15 inches, cut them down and make boards out of it. They're cutting these trees down every 10, 15 years instead of the tree taking 30 or 40 years to grow. All right, I'm on another hill. I'm gonna clock it out. Oh, I gotta take a rest break. People ask me a lot of messages. Have I saw Bigfoot? Have I saw anything? paranormal anywhere in the forest? And the answer is yes, I have. I've seen some odd things that I can't explain. I'm not talking about broken trees or rocks move around. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about hearing noise, 40, 50 feet away, a lot of noise, and you can't see it. I've looked, this happened to me before. I know another man it happened to. But I'd hear the noise thinking it was squirrels, or turkeys scratching, but it was only 30 feet away, like right past that log there. Hear the noise. I didn't see any leaves moving or anything like that. Hear the noise. It's loud. I mean loud, thrashing and banging. Sounds like the limbs are being torn down and all this kind of stuff. But I didn't see anything moving. Now this other guy, he saw it moving. He saw the stuff moving. He just didn't. He didn't see whatever was making the noise was invisible. Whatever was making the noise was invisible to him. But I've had that happen. Another time, of the heavy breathing. See how I'm breathing right now? Well, excuse me. I heard that breathing. It was, 30, 40 feet away. Very loud. It was intimidating, actually. Very powerful breaths. All right. Hang on a minute. I just found this rock, and it looks like it says JJ with 2 lines underneath of it. You see it? Isn't that crazy? I know a guy named JJ. I'm gonna give him this rock. It could say JT, I guess, but if it was the other way, I'd say it was Thomas Jefferson. So you find stuff like this, and that's something good to give to your friends. He's like, this guy named JJ. I say, look, JJ, I found this rock. It's got your initials on it. He'll probably keep this rock. Forever. I mean, it's just neat. You know what I mean? Now I gotta pack it another mile. It's getting dark. Actively come for me, except for one other time, which was over here, and I heard a puppy crying down into water, and I went down there to rescue it. I got down there and the puppy ran away. It was being attacked. It sounded like the puppy was being attacked by these coyotes, and they all splashed off through the water, and I got a really bad feeling, so I climbed back up the cliffs. I've told this story before. Climbed back up the cliffs, got home as quickly as I could. I was looking behind me and all this stuff the whole way because I really felt uneasy about it. I go in the house, put my gun down, walk right back outside. I was inside for maybe 5 seconds, and the coyotes were in my yard behind my truck, and they were yipping at me, which was very uncharacteristic for a coyote to yip and yell and whoop and all these kind of noises that they make. And they were out of sight. When I went down to the creek, they stayed out of sight. It was like midnight. I took my headlamp with me. They was out of sight, and I had that lamp on. It was very bright. And they splashed away, and the puppy splashed away with them. I went down there to help it. It sounded like it was getting eaten. And then I hightailed it back home. Soon, they must have been right behind me. I mean, right behind me. Whatever it was. And they were behind my truck. So I couldn't believe it. Like, I was stunned. I was like, how did they get here so quickly? There's no other way up the cliffs except for the way I came. And I never saw anything behind me. I mean, the whole time I was checking. So, they're very fast, whatever it was. And they stayed out of sight behind my truck. I went back in. I think I tried to get the dog to go back out with me when I grabbed my gun. The dogs wouldn't go back out. I've had dogs that were brave and dogs that were just dangerous but scared sometimes. And some dogs will do it, some dogs won't go out after it, I see another time in the dark, I was standing outside in the woods here, and I could hear a voice calling from down over the cliffs where the caves are down the creek, about 200, or about a quarter mile. I was going to say 200 yards, but it's probably more like a quarter of a mile. And anyway, the voice was going, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, and it sounded like a woman. Actually, it was kind of like a high-pitched yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. Very creepy, you know. I don't think it was a person. And who were they talking to? They couldn't see me. You know, I was a quarter of a mile away. I could just hear it. It was really loud. I actually videoed it. I got it on my YouTube channel. I think it says strange noises coming from the cliffs below or something like that. I don't know how to put thumbnails on, or I would, but that was very creepy. But no, I've never seen anything. As far as seeing like a Bigfoot or something, I've never saw that. My eyes has never seen any big feet or dog people or aliens, or, you know, the only time I actually saw something was when I was a kid. I was about 12, and I went walking with I took my 20 gauge shotgun, Remington. It's a nice shotgun. I still have it. I went walking, and I was about, I don't know, a couple miles from the nearest house, walking out a ridge, and this man come walking up the side of the mountain, and he had on the old time suspenders, pots and pans, old time like mountain man hat and stuff. Very beardy faced. And I had my shotgun, and I was standing there, and he came up the ridge. He turned around and looked at me, and I looked at him, and I didn't wave. I didn't do anything, and he just looked at me, and he turned around and walked the opposite direction. So he left. I watched him walk out of sight, and incidentally, that's when I turned around and I went back home. So, and we're talking this was 1994 probably. So in 1995, I go a different way, and I was probably 3 or 4 miles from the area I saw the man before. And on another hot summer day, I was walking out a ridge line. The first time I saw him, I was going west. Second time I saw him, I was going west. I was going east on the ridge line, opposite the way I came the last time, the year before. Anyway, it's the same thing happened. This guy come trudging up the hillside, and same guy, had the same clothes on, like exactly the same, pots, a couple of pots and a pan hanging off his belt. Let me think. The hat, the suspenders, the old time clothes, really scruffy beard, exactly the same, like he hadn't changed in 365 days. The man that I saw hadn't changed a bit. And he just looked at me again, and he done the same thing. He turned around and walked straight the opposite direction that I was facing. So I went home after that too. So I don't know who that man was. I even asked people when I was younger when I saw him, and some people thought, well, maybe it was this person or that person, but nobody definitely knew of anybody that would be out there walking around in the mountains and the foothills, just surviving, because that's what the guy looked like. He was just surviving. He just had that appearance, you know. I thought that was I wish I could have asked his name, and I wish I could have, talked to him for a bit, because if it was a real man, right? So if it wasn't a real man, if it was like a spirit of some kind, evil spirit, or maybe an angel of the Lord, I don't know what it was. I didn't feel threatened. I was just kind of weirded out. And I was a kid, remember? I was 12 and 13. The guy didn't look, he didn't wave, he didn't smile, he didn't do anything. He just looked at me with his eyes, stood still, straight up for a minute, turned around and left. He done that both times, never said a word. So, thought that was pretty weird. So anyway, I'm gonna hop off here. I got some more stuff that happened, but no, I've never seen any. I saw some like UFO stuff, but who hasn't at this point? Like, everybody sees stuff in the sky that's unidentified. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here, and hope you guys have a great weekend and a great rest of your life whenever you're watching this. Like and subscribe. This is Eastern Kentucky, the channel. My name's Lauren, and you know, I appreciate everybody that watches. I do. You guys do a lot more than you think. You do more than you think. A couple channels you might like if you like this type of stuff, especially if you like Bigfoot stuff, is Carpenter. Shoot, his son runs it now, Travis Carpenter. What is his name? I don't know. How to Hunt, The Truth by How to Bow Hunt is another one. It is nothing but Bigfoot stories. Mr. Ballin, he's got nothing but mystery stories and scary stories. Very good storyteller. Who else? David Politis does missing people. It's very good. I urge you to go check David Politis out. He's got like 1,200 videos or something of all missing people, and he does a really good job telling the stories. Scott Carpenter is his name. He passed away not too long ago, but his channel's still up. He's got hundreds or thousands of videos of interesting stuff, so go check him out. And the Facts by How to Bow Hunt is the channel that just reads emails from Bigfoot encounters, and his name is, I don't know what his name is. There's a song like that. His name was, I don't know what his name was, so we just call him Fred. So, The Facts by How to Bow Hunt. And then incidentally, there's another guy named Fred something called Subarctic Alaska Sasquatch. Really good. I would urge you to go to Subarctic Alaska Sasquatch. Very good. All of them's great. Scary stories, true stories. And David Politis, Scott Carpenter, The Facts by How to Bow Hunt, Mr. Ballin. Mr. Ballin has a really good one called Nahanni Valley. You would really like that. There's some other things like 7-4 Gear. It's about airplanes. What is another one? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Subscribe. They're talking about me. Same pack every time.